This isn't just 2011 fast, that is 2022 jaw-dropping fast. What's up everybody, my name is Elliott, but you can call me the Motory Notary. If you spent any length of time on this channel, you'll know that I am a massive fan of the Cartrek series featuring Ed Bolian, Tyler Hoover, and Tavarish. Not only am I a fan of watching Cartrek, but I've been known to purchase a few ex-Cartrek cars and give them a second home, like the cars you see behind me, the Maserati from Season 2 and Tyler's Mercedes 300 TD wagon from Season 5. Another thing you'll notice about this channel is that I love getting ex-Cartrek cars together, especially if they were on the same season together. And today I have a special treat from the season that this car was featured on, which means, well, I'll have to move this one and go get it. Love that sound, but this video isn't about you, Maserati, sorry. Oh yes, this is the AMG SLS from Season 5 when they did the First Car Dream Car Challenge, and now I have them both here yet again reunited in Wichita, Kansas. And today I'm going to show you how these two extremely different cars from the same manufacturer might not be that different after all. Well, we can start the similarities off with the colors. The SLS is painted in a beautiful Designo Mystic White, and the 300 TD is painted in a destitute sort of faded ivory. They were both Mercedes-Benz products, although this one was designed entirely by AMG. They were both on Cartrek. They were both currently or formerly owned by Tyler Hoover. The Mercedes is powered by a 5-cylinder turbo diesel, and the SLS is powered by a massive naturally aspirated V8. Man, these cars are sounding like they don't have that much in common, but I promise you they do. Okay, so I've taken the liberty of opening the hood on the Mercedes already off camera because it's kind of a two-handed activity, but let me show you this little known SLS AMG 300 TD common part that most people would have never thought. See, you go over here to your oily Mercedes, pop this off, and we come over here, and we open up the big hood of the SLS, and look at that motor. The 6.2 liter naturally aspirated engine making 563 horsepower. Now, I believe at the time this was the most powerful naturally aspirated V8 on sale in the world. I mean, Ford was only making like 500 and something horsepower with a supercharger. This thing's just breathing regular air and making 563 horsepower. That's nutty. Anyway, check this out. And this is where the oil goes in an SLS. Look at that. Hold on here. I think I got a rag. And presto, look at that. Okay, it doesn't fit that well, but look, I told you, they have things in common. All right, they don't really have that much in common, but I will tell you from my experience, this SLS AMG is possibly the best Cartrek car ever. Let's take a look at it in a little bit more detail, and then I think we could drive it. Right, before we look at the SLS anymore, I should also take this time to mention my 300 TD is still for sale. Still looking to get about $10,000-ish for it. That's pretty appropriate with the market value. But you're more than welcome to send me an offer if any of you are still interested. I have a whole video going over this car. I'll link in the comments, but I'll have an email in the description since my last email got like deactivated for some reason. It doesn't matter. The point is the 300 TD is still very much for sale, and we'll just look at it. You know, when I'm not working on cars or notarizing legal documents, I work at a company like this. We design high-speed communications interfaces for computers, like this one. So you could say I know a thing or two about communications and the value of keeping them safe. So when today's sponsor, Surfshark, reached out to me, it was a no-brainer partnership. In the ocean of online content, there are a lot of websites out there that take your information without you even knowing it. But with Surfshark VPN, you can swim under their radar. Nothing is creepier than having a conversation with a friend and having that exact item you were just talking about pop up in your ads. But with Surfshark, that's no longer going to be an issue. Unlike most VPNs, Surfshark allows you to use just one subscription on multiple devices simultaneously. This means you can stay protected on your MacBook, iPhone, and Xbox 24/7 all at the same time. And it's got this neat feature called multi-hop, which allows you to double up on your VPN protection by putting 2 VPN servers between you and your destination website. But by far my favorite feature is being able to access streaming content that's no longer available in your country. For example, remember being able to watch The Office on Netflix? Well, using Surfshark, just connect to a British server and boom, there it is, ready for you to binge again. So if you want both protection and freedom online, visit the link in my description below using code Alvis for a whopping 83% off as a special holiday offer. Yes, that's 83% off, just like how this Mercedes is a 1983. How neat is that? Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk to try it for yourself today. Show me some support by supporting Surfshark. Anyway, back to the Mercedes. All right, well, the hood was already open, so we might as well start with this monster of an engine. And more importantly than the engine itself is really just the length of this hood and frontal area of the car. It's really hard to get a full perspective here. In fact, the engine starts behind the front wheels, which makes this technically front mid-engine. It's really good for weight balance, but it makes for a hilariously long hood. In fact, if you look, you've got like 3 feet of extra space here between where the engine starts and where the front of the car is. But they use it for good stuff like that oil tank, and then the intakes, you know, both snake over here. It's a really good under hood presentation though. I mean, it really gives this car a unique look on the road. It's got a really long nose. Closing the hood so we can look at the rest of the car. It is a 2011, and this car was meant to pay homage to the original 300 SL Gullwing. And to do that, the most important part are these awesome doors. So getting in, the door handles popped out, but normally that sucks in when it's locked or when it's driving, but oh, nothing makes you feel cooler than opening up doors like this. And what's interesting is back when the 300 SL was made, well, there weren't any safety regulations, so these doors were fine. When this was made, there were rollover regulations. And when you have doors like this, if you imagine this car on its roof, well, you couldn't open them. So the coolest part about this car to me is the fact that in here, it has exploding bolts in the hinges, so it'll actually blow the door off so you can kick it free in the event that you were trapped upside down in your SLS. I'm sure most automotive manufacturers would have just said, I guess we can't do Gullwing doors anymore. But Mercedes was like, no, we will have the coolest way to make sure that that is still legal possible. And they did it with this car. But walking around the car, it is just gorgeous. It has all of the right proportions, that long nose, short rear, the wheels and tires just look good. And around back, we have one of my favorite pieces that's on any automobile, a retractable wing. So this will come up and down depending on speeds you're going, and it'll even act as an air brake if you're going fast enough. And I just love movable bodywork, and it's got a button inside in case you want to manually deploy it to be one of those dudes who's driving around at like 10 miles an hour with their spoiler up rather than at 65 or whatever it normally comes up at. And another fun Easter egg fact, it's a lot of things on the AMGs of this era. They all say 6.3 on the side to boldly represent the 6.2 liter V8 that's under the hood. It's just one of those things. Okay. Climbing in to the SLS AMG, well, I know the door was already open, but I closed it just so I could open it again. It is that cool. But look at it in here. It's got this Designo coffee color. I actually forgot what the official name of it is, but it looks absolutely fantastic when paired with this white exterior. And everything else in here just feels premium and feels very special, almost as special as opening up the doors to get in it. It's amazing how well this interior has aged. It's hard to believe it's from 2011. There's really nothing that screams dated other than some of the plastickier stuff and Doug DeMuro's least favorite thing, a couple of blank switches. But the gauge cluster is really where it's at. It's like all aluminum, aircraft inspired, very simple layout. It says AMG, it has LED shift lights. It's really just a sight to behold. Now, speaking of what being on the inside of the SLS is like, let's go take this thing out for a drive and see what being on Cartrek must have really been like in this thing. Oh, man. I know I normally cut right to the driving, but I had to do the door thing again. I mean, how can you not do that? Okay, driving the Cartrek 5 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. What is it like? Well, the first thing you notice is that you've got about 17 feet of hood in front of you, and the last 3 feet of it disappears. You just have to know that there's an extra 3 feet of car in front of you that you can't see. And it kind of feels like we're in a pillbox. The visibility is still pretty good, but you get this sense that you're in a very dense object. But part of the coolness of the SLS. Oh, quick off the line. Oh, the sound is so good. But anyway, how is it in terms of a cartrek car? Well, first of all, it's just comfortable. I could easily melt away 500, 700 miles in this thing and not get tired. You got nice materials, the AC works great, it drives like an expensive car should, which, speaking of which, that's something to talk about. These have gone up in price so much recently. These used to be able to be had for like 130 grand-ish, which is not cheap. But now these are like mostly $250,000, $270,000 on Auto Tempest. Now that's certainly not what Tyler got this for. He got it right at the perfect time, but man, are these victim to the massive car price bubble that we've got going on right now. And you know, you just have to think about it. I'm driving what is essentially a $300,000 car surrounded by cars that are worth about 10 grand from what I can see. Kind of nerve-wracking. Now, this car was amazing on cartrek. It was the fastest at the top speed challenge before Ed kind of bent the rules a little bit. It was easily the fastest at the track before, well, the other people kind of bent the rules a little bit. And I can imagine Tyler was very thankful to get back into this after spending some time in that 300 TD with no AC. I gotta tell you, the AC in this thing works really great. It is like 102 outside right now. That's nothing to shake a stick at. The handling is like super sharp. I'm not even in the sportiest setting. Now I am, and it's even sharper. I mean, this thing is a point and shoot mobile like you wouldn't believe. Its looks kind of make it seem like it's going to be a Grand Tourer, kind of a cushy ride, but it is not. It can be in comfort, but let me just tell you, it's not. Now, in terms of speed, how is this thing? Well, oh my God. And my spoiler's up. Oh my God. I gotta tell you guys, that was very fast. And this sound is so good. It's like a muscle car. You'd never expect that from this thing. Looking on the outside is just this like sleek coupe, and then there's this monster under the hood. Oh, and those lightning fast dual clutch shifts. Holy smokes. Oh, exhaust crackles too. I might give it a little bit of that again. That was good. Oh, listen to that. Oh, crisp shifts. Okay, and I'm telling you guys, also, the steel brakes work very well. This isn't just 2011 fast, that is 2022 jaw-dropping fast. Sometimes you get jaded with cars and you're like, well, 560 horsepower probably isn't that fast because I've had a Hellcat and I've driven all these other higher horsepower cars. Something about the power delivery and experience in this car is unlike anything else. This is special. Okay, so back to the subject at hand. How is it as a cartrek car? I have driven a lot of cartrek cars. And in fact, I'll go out on a limb here and say I've probably driven the most cartrek cars outside of the actual cast of cartrek. And that's something I'm pretty proud of. I'll probably put that on my resume. But this one beats them all. As much as I love the Ferrari from season 1 and the Gallardo from season 1, this just does everything better. And it's a Mercedes. You can get this thing serviced anywhere. It eats up miles like nobody's business. It is faster than heck. It comes alive like an absolute monster when you put your foot down. But it's comfortable and it's reliable and the air conditioner works. And it's not really that flashy until you open the doors. It kind of is like a jack of all trades. This really might be the best cartrek car ever. So there you have it, guys. The Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG is an incredibly special car and possibly the greatest cartrek car ever. It's a weapons-grade fast muscle car, exotic car, and Grand Tourer all in one. And that makes it a force to be reckoned with on an epic road trip with your friends like cartrek. But I started this video out talking about the similarities between these two Mercedes, and there's one important one. Both of these cars represent the last of a dying breed in two respective areas. The 300 TD over here is the last of the Mercedeses that you can't kill. These things go for over 1 million miles with minimal or no maintenance. You just can't kill them. They're like the cockroach of cars. And the AMG SLS represents the last of the big V8 cars for Mercedes before everything started getting smaller and turbocharged. Both are important, but which one is the better cartrek car? Well, I think it's pretty obvious it would be the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, but I would say the best cartrek car is the one you've got. And I'm looking at you, Maserati. I didn't forget about you. You're still my favorite. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I try to post as much behind the scenes content as I can there. Follow me on Facebook. Join my Facebook group. It's a great place to share memes, and I'm almost always in there interacting in the comments. And other than that, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video. It greatly helps my YouTube performance, and I will see you guys on the next video. All right, I gotta mess with the doors again. Oh. I don't know whether to just leave them up or leave them down. I mean, they're just so cool. This is one of those times when you're just like, I mean, I'm on my favorite stretch of road in an astounding vehicle. It's a pinch me kind of moment.